Good afternoon. My name is Chris Isaacson. I am going to be presenting application, leveraging social media to promote your work and ideas in family nursing. This was co-created with the presenters that you see here. So we've seen up to this point ways in which we use social media for practice, education, and research. But where do you start? That is what we're going to be talking about in this presentation. I'm going to provide some theory as to why social media works, and I will also present some items that I call theory into practice, where we're going to look at actual applications and how do we apply this theory to help promote our ideas and connect with others. But why social media? There is roughly 2 billion people around the world who make use of some form of social media. That means that approximately 3 in 10 people around the world are using social media. It connects us both personally and professionally in a way unlike any I think that we have seen. And it allows us to communicate even on a daily basis. But where do I start? There are so many choices and so many people out there that where do you begin? Social media, unlike The Field of Dreams, the movie, if you build it, they will not come. We've heard from Wendy and our previous presenters, but Wendy particularly mentioned the 4 C's: to curate, to connect, to collaborate, and to contribute. These are all things that we need to do to make our social media efforts work. So I'm going to expand on that in a way by asking you this question and asking you to ask yourself this question. What do you want to accomplish? This is probably the key. Do you want to learn more about your field or industry? Do you want to learn more about family nursing and what's going on in the industry? Do you want to connect with like-minded individuals? Do you want to spread the word or be an advocate for family nursing? Do you want to become an authority? If you are an authority, do you want to be recognized as an authority? Knowing your strategy will help guide you in the selection of what social media channels you choose to use and who you choose to follow and what you choose to share. So in social media, there is a strategy that we need to use, which is we ask ourselves why, what, and who. Why is the objectives that we are trying to establish, which we just talked about. What are the goals that you are trying to accomplish? What is all about the content? What kinds of content are you going to create and write and share or curate? In other words, retweet, share something that somebody else created that's of value. Where will that content come from? And how often will you share that content? And finally, who? This is your network. Who is your intended audience? What channels do they use? Go where they are. How will you build your network? But why social media works, right? We keep saying, oh, there's billions of people out there. You need to be out there. Why does it work? It's because social media, the internet, the World Wide Web, they all appeal to our inherent need to socialize and for community. This happened long before the World Wide Web as we know it even started. Tim Berners-Lee, they created communities. He was the inventor of the World Wide Web. There were communities out there of people, not many, but they wanted to connect with each other and share ideas. That was the whole point. That is why social media works so well. And building community means building relationships. And it's not just those relationships between the organization, so say from the International Family Nursing Association, and individuals, but it's between the individuals that are part of the organization and part of the field as a whole. So now I have a couple of frameworks that are going to help illustrate and explain why this works. The first is called communities of practice. And communities of practice is a framework that was developed in 1998, so even before the World Wide Web had taken off. It was in its infancy. But really, it was just a framework that was, it recognized something that was happening, a phenomenon that was going on. It's a group of people who share a common interest or passion for something. That sound like anybody that we might know? Is that why everybody is here at the conference? And we want to learn how to do it better. And we interact regularly to learn from each other. This is the core. So, to go through what makes up a community of practice, because not just any community, such as a neighborhood, would be considered a community of practice. Not just because you share an interest, like everybody has the same favorite movie, that doesn't make you a community of practice. The first part is it needs to be a group of people with a shared interest. Everybody here has a particular interest, not just in the field of nursing, but in family nursing, family healthcare, family well-being, right? So that's our first step. That is referred to as the domain, but you don't have to necessarily remember that. Just remember, it's that group of people with a shared interest. The second is a group of people who share a common goal to improve their knowledge. That also is everybody here, right? That's why you are either presenting or attending all sorts of presentations and viewing posters and presenting posters and listening at the keynotes. It's because you want to improve your knowledge in the field of family nursing. And lastly, what makes a community of practice is that same group of people needs to be able to share resources and experiences. This is where the internet and social media steps in. This is where the internet and social media can help you. So this leads us into our first theory into practice. And I'm going to use LinkedIn as an example because with LinkedIn, you can join existing communities of practice, which we're going to take a look at. You can search for groups using some keywords. You can join those groups. You can make sure that you receive emails because that's the way I do this with LinkedIn is I receive emails. It gets pushed to me. I can see what others have posted and shared in the fields that I'm interested in. And you can write or share your own information. So I'm going to get out of this really quick and go into my browser. And here is LinkedIn. Okay. So if you have a LinkedIn account, what you can do to find some groups is I'm just going to type in family nursing and see all of these things pop up. And down here you'll see groups. And here's International Family Nursing. It's just an easy one to find. But you may have some more selective interests in here. So we're going to go to International Family Nursing Association. I already have it selected. And you can join this group. And one of the things that happens when you join this group is all of these posts that people have shared will show up in your email and show up on your LinkedIn homepage. This is a way to stay in touch. The other is you can see all comments. You can respond. You can join the conversation, right? So this is how LinkedIn, and I don't have much time, otherwise I'd love to go more into this. We're going to go back to our presentation. All right. Second thing, communities of practice, while they are fantastic, and they are great ways to connect and share information, because of the similarity is how we connect, but it develops comfort, which can lead to complacency. How do we get new ideas in there? What can be done to bring in new ideas, to share our ideas beyond. That's where the second theory, bridging social capital, comes into play. Bridging social capital refers to those weak ties or bridges, and this was also mentioned in prior presentations by my colleagues. But this is where the ideas spread from one social network to the next. And it is by these loose ties, the ones I have indicated here in red, orange, or green, they are loosely connected with these networks, but also with other networks. So they are bringing new ideas into and out of to connect different networks. This is really what social media is all about. It is the interconnections of varying networks. Okay, theory into practice too. Talk about connecting different networks. Twitter is fantastic. It allows us to expand our networks, to reach across networks, and to establish yourself as an authority. You can learn more about the field, and I'm going to pop back over to my browser here, by searching things like hashtags, which I've done up here. I've typed in family nursing. You could type in family health, and it will bring up all of these results. And you can choose to save these searches so you can participate. One of the keys, though, in joining this Twitter community that helps us bridge our own local communities of practice is you can favorite, you can retweet, or you can respond to that individual. And that's the power and the phenomena that is Twitter. I wish I had more time to go into this, but I'm going to have to go back to the presentation here. Okay, so the key here, we need to set aside some time. It doesn't just happen that I go and set up a Twitter account or a LinkedIn account and it's just taken care of. I recommend that you start with 30 minutes to an hour per week. I'm not asking for a whole lot. Set up that account. Get to know what that channel. So if you set up a Twitter account for the very first time, get to know Twitter. Do some searching. Read what some other people are doing. Create a post. Go find some people to follow. And then as you build and over time, increase the frequency of your own posts and interactions and really join that community and aim for 15 to 30 minutes a day instead of that 30 minutes to an hour per week. It's still not a lot of time, but it can make some immense connections. Find your own rhythm and frequency that works for you. And finally, in putting it all together, determine your strategy. Remember, go back to the beginning. Remember to ask, why? What do you want to accomplish? What are you going to share? What are your contributions? And who do you want to connect with? Network here at the conference. It's a great place to start. It's phenomenal. We've got the little tweet buttons. Find those people. Connect with those people. This is a really great icebreaker that is an easy way to dive into the realm of social media. So also find and establish communities of practice. I can almost guarantee that you all already belong to a community of practice, right? So if you have one, reach out, use that bridging social capital and connect with others. That is, again, why we are here. We are an international community made up of several local communities. Be the bridge, cross-promote, and set aside the time. So come on in. The water's fine. Thank you.